My ex and I split 5 years ago now. We had a daughter who is 16, a son who is 13, and a daughter who is 5. He's always been a good dad, and we split 50-50 custody, essentially the kids 1 week my house and 1 week his house. After my divorce, I reconnected with a high school boyfriend and fell head over heels in love again. He's in the military, but hadn't had to move in years. We married 2 years ago. A year ago, he got orders to move to Texas from where we all were in California. My older 2 kids were not happy at all and didn't want to move, well the baby didn't really express a preference. I approached my ex and told him the situation. I said I know the situation screws, but we'd foot the bill to him for every trip to him on holidays, breaks, summers, etc. He blew his top and said absolutely not, I wouldn't take his kids away and said he'd see me in court. The judge ended up ruling in his favor and I was awarded summers and every other holiday. I was absolutely devastated. I moved and I've barely seen the kids since. They came at Christmas for a week and it was tense the whole time. The older kids, especially my daughter, are short with me on FaceTime while the baby gets distracted and can't chat much. My daughter has said I chose a man over her and that she wants nothing to do with me, well my son won't talk about it, but I can tell he's angry. I've asked my ex to talk to them about it and he basically said I chose to leave, it's my fault and he's not getting involved in our issues. So, let me have it Reddit, am I the idiot? Kinda selfish. And yes you are the idiot. You didn't ask your kids' opinion about moving, they're old enough to have that conversation. You instead decided on your own for what you wanted and when told no fought to have your way in court and lost, I'd say rightfully. You didn't ask your ex's opinion, they're his kids too, you just announced something based on what you and your husband wanted. The kids are rightfully pissed because they feel their mother abandoned them without any consideration. Yeah, you're an idiot in this. You're the idiot. I'm a divorced mom of 3 with week on week off. I totally get how hard it is to balance your new life with the other responsibilities of kids and co-parenting, but the kids have to come first. It's a screwy situation, but when presented with the choice of being long distance from your kids or from your husband, you should have chosen the long distance relationship with your husband. Your kids are dealing with abandonment issues and get to be upset and hurt. Whether or not you feel like it, you did choose your new husband over them. On one hand, the kids made the choice themselves that they didn't want to move anyway. And you shouldn't have to put your life on hold. On the other hand, especially because one is just a baby, they're your kids and you abandoned them. Why couldn't you stay put and have your husband visit you when he could? I think if all your kids were teenagers it would be different, but they're not. You're missing out on so much of their lives, especially your youngest who you will probably have little to no attachment to now. Just to be clear, this post isn't about whether I'm an idiot for disliking children, it is about whether I'm an idiot for refusing to try therapy. From the start, I made it clear to my fiancé I did not want children. I have made this clear with every person I have dated. He did not have any issues with it whatsoever and said he liked pros of a child-free life. Our relationship was going great and last week, a couple of months before our wedding, he announced he would actually love to have children. He said he realized this from having our dog, who I admit we spoil like a child. This shocked and to be honest devastated me, because my perception of him was very much based on someone who shared my desire to have a child-free life, which is extremely important to me. I told him despite the fact I loved our dog, dogs are very different from children. He insisted that, because I treated our dog so well I would be a great mother. He then asked that I try therapy to fix my child-hating problem. He believed that my traumatic childhood has caused me to hate children because wanting children is a natural desire. I will not deny that this might be the truth, but I have no desire to fix my issue. My best friend said I'm being selfish because therapy can't hurt, and I probably do have a lot of unresolved childhood issues, abandonment from parents, and many other problems. A part of me is considering it, but deep inside I really don't want to. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, but you realize that your relationship is doomed. It's unsustainable when one party wants kids and the other adamantly refuses. You're not wrong for not wanting to change, nor if you don't want to go to therapy for it. But do not get married to your boyfriend, having any illusions you're going to change your mind. It's untenable for one part to want something this big and the other to not. So if you really don't want to, don't do it. But let him go find someone willing to have a family and do it quickly and as painlessly as possible. Not the idiot. You made your explicit wishes clear well before getting married. And if your husband thinks a child is that similar to having a dog, he's out of his mind. Dogs don't require you to watch them every second. Dogs don't scream. Dogs don't kill your nights the first 6 months. Dogs don't need different types of food, endless clothes, ongoing expenditures, etc. Your husband is the idiot here. This is a fundamental part of you, and he knew that, but now wants to change that. No one who doesn't want to be a parent should have to be. That's how you get crepey parents. Not the idiot. You were clear from the beginning about not wanting kids. He's trying to make you something that you aren't. That being said, if you do have issues regarding your childhood, therapy can help. But don't go because you want to fix the child hating. Go because you want to fix yourself. Your fiancé needs to be honest with himself about what he wants. If he really wants kids, he has to understand that you aren't a person to give them to him. Because you were honest with him, and any differing expectations are on him. Me and my sister are 17 and 15, respectively. We're totally different, even though we're only 2 years apart. I'm an honors student, and she's an athlete who struggles to scrape up a C in half her classes. It's never bothered her before this school year, but this year she was a freshman, so we were both in the same high school, and she's suddenly gotten super self-conscious about her grades. Apparently, she told my parents that she doesn't like how teachers compare her to me and hold her to high expectations because of it, which is fair. I get that. What I don't get is how my parents chose to respond to that. I guess my parents' solution to this newfound self-consciousness is to eliminate the effects of sibling rivalry by just pretending that all of my achievements don't exist and telling her that my grades are much worse than they are. For example, she got a 75 on her bio final this year. I got a 97 on that. I know I got a 97 on that because it's still in the online grades portal. But they told her I got a 75 too, even though nobody even brought up my grade to begin with. They did the same thing with the National Merit Scholarship qualifying test and other standardized tests that I took when I was her age. Their immediate response to her getting a mediocre or bad grade is to say your sister got that too. They've also started talking non-stop about how the system is wrong and how to honor societies and good grades don't mean anything and how it's all favoritism and nepotism, which I hate. I worked hard to qualify for the honor societies I'm in, and I didn't get in because of favoritism. My final straw was yesterday at dinner when my sister was talking about how she did pretty badly on the Scholastic Aptitude test and how her guidance counselor told her she has to review math this summer. My parents immediately started with the system is broken, you don't fit in their little boxes, you're special, and nobody understands how you learn stuff. But then my mom said that I also did really badly on my Scholastic Aptitude test, which is just not true. I said as much, and then we got in an argument about it. Long story short, my parents accused me of trying to destroy my sister's self-confidence and told me to just go along with it next time. That bothers me. I don't know why, because it's not like my parents are telling anyone else that I did badly, they're just pretending that I'm a C student like my sister to make her feel better. At the same time, though, it feels kind of crappy to not have any of my achievements acknowledged because they'd make my sister feel bad. And what's worse is that my sister's shortcomings are entirely her fault. She refuses to study, wouldn't attend review sessions or cram jam, and won't accept any help, even though I've tried. I gave her a review book and she just threw it away because it was boring. She's incredibly irresponsible, and instead of addressing that issue my parents just lie to her about my grades so she won't get upset. Am I the idiot for wanting this to stop? Absolutely not the idiot. How about your parents try to bring up your sister's confidence by pointing out her own self-worth or perhaps encouraging her to do better in school instead of just bringing everyone else down to her level. That's like the equivalent of just telling a self-conscious teenager that it's okay, everyone else is ugly too instead of you're beautiful the way you are. That's totally unacceptable of your parents, sorry you have to deal with that OP. Enjoy your accomplishments, you earned it. Not the idiot. You and your sisters are individuals with your own strengths and weaknesses. Rather than brushing off her grades and blaming the system, they should be encouraging her to work harder and do better in school. Have they not considered that diminishing the importance of your accomplishments to spare her feelings could end up making you feel the way they're trying to avoid your sister feeling? Also, congrats on making it into the honor societies, that's huge and I'm really happy for you. Not the idiot. Sounds like nepotism and favoritism, but not in the school system, but in your family system. If you were trying out for a sport and were having a hard time cause you don't have the skills, would they tell you that your sister is actually really mediocre at it too, so don't worry about it? She is her own person and she should be judged as such and given her own self-worth that is not linked to your self-worth. Your parents are discounting and dismissing your achievements for what? I can tell you it isn't helping your sister in the long run. My wife's daughter is 16, we're both in our 40s. Her daughter Ashley is from a previous relationship. My wife and I have been married 7 years and together for 10. To put it bluntly, Ashley's a huge brat. She always has this horrible attitude, never does the minimal chores we assign her, make sure her room or bathroom is cleaned and wash the dishes, that's it. She's always partying, coming home at 4 in the morning, and always bringing home different dudes to spend the night. I don't really have any parental authority over Ashley at the request of my wife, because her father's still in the picture, but I'm just sick of the way she treats and raises her child. She just brushes off her delinquency with she's just a kid. I'm not against kids having fun, but come on, why is there a stranger at my house at 2 in the morning? She thinks because she's almost an adult, that gives her a free ride to do whatever she wants, never mind the fact that she's just finished her sophomore year in high school. Her mother thinks, as long as she's safe and responsible, we should just let her find herself. Well, I think she needs to step up and be a parent. Enforce rules, give punishments, and actually raise her child besides letting her act like a freaking delinquent. We've had multiple talks about it, and it always ends with you don't get to tell me how to raise my child. And while that's true, I want kids and we were actively trying for a baby. But my thought process is like, if this is the way you're going to raise your child, what's stopping you to raise our future children like this? I decided I didn't want this for myself and I didn't have the right to parent her child, but I didn't want my child to be raised like this. So I talked to a divorce attorney and am probably going to proceed with a divorce. The reason why I feel like I might be an idiot is that she has no house and will probably have to move back with her parents across the country. I got a prenup because there's quite an income disparity between us. She works part-time at minimum wage, while I work at a Fortune 500. Her kid would have to uproot her life and everything she's known. And I don't hate the kid, I just think her parent is failing her right now. This is our only issue, but one that's been coming up frequently for the last year and a half. I feel like at this point, it's just a fundamental incompatibility. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. However you say this is the only issue between you, have you considered marriage counseling or sitting down and making it clear that this issue will lead to the two of you divorce if it's not rectified? I mean, do what you gotta do, but perhaps pursue other options first before hitting her with a divorce hammer. The current dynamic is clearly not working in your relationship and your wife needs to realize that. I would personally exhaust any other available options before heading for divorce though. Not the idiot, and if you're paying the bills on the house in your name, you're kind of a puss for not putting your foot down years ago and stopping this crap. The wife probably would have respected you more if you stood your ground a little bit and put your foot down at least in regards to the house you pay for. I don't like the situation she would be in if you broke up, but this obviously is going to be a major problem down the line if you're raising your own kid. It's a crappy situation. You're the idiot, but not for wanting to leave her. You're the idiot because she's likely been like this since before you married her, and you married her anyway. My best friend was dating a woman with a kid for a while. Before she moved forward with a relationship, she had serious conversations about how her girlfriend was raising her child and if my friend would be involved at all in parenting. My friend really didn't like a lot of her girlfriend's parenting choices, so these things were important to her. Important enough that they actually ended up breaking up over it. My partner and I have been together for a year, and our anniversary just rolled by. In the lead up to the anniversary, I, 25, and my partner, 27, had discussed that we would delay anniversary celebration to the weekend and exchange gifts then due to my work week shifts. He asked what I wanted, and I told him straight up I either needed a new cross-stitch hoop or the new book one of my fave authors has just released. I kept my gift advice inexpensive as I know he doesn't have much money. I find extravagant gifts a waste on these occasions, and it's the thought that counts more than anything. He asked about jewelry, and I told him I didn't want any as I am really picky with jewelry. I wear my grandmother's and mum's rings for memories and love, but that's it, and my skin is hella sensitive to some metals, so if I get it wrong I turn from white female into lobster with leprosy rashes. Day rolls around and we have a dinner I made at my place and exchange gifts. He gifts me a necklace with matching earrings which caught me off guard, so I wasn't quite able to keep my initial reaction off my face. I thanked him first, then I asked him what the jewelry metal was, and he immediately goes, "You don't like it, do you?" I told him the jewelry was a lovely gesture, but I didn't think I would personally wear it, much as I hate things hanging around my neck, and I needed to know what kind of metal it was. He gets so angry and goes into a rant about how I insulted him by giving him inexpensive gift options. I dared to question him on whether or not he put thought into the metals, and he even took out a loan to buy this for me. I told him I thought it was seriously irresponsible to take out a loan for this gift, and he slammed out of my apartment, taking the gift with him, and hasn't responded to any texts or calls for the last few days. My girlfriends reckon I was harsh and ungrateful at the gesture, and I am kind of questioning that too now. Maybe I didn't handle it the best way. Am I the idiot? Hang on, what the hell? He took out a loan to buy you a present for your 1-year anniversary. That's just bad with money 101. You are so not the idiot. You told him what you wanted and why you didn't wear jewelry. Clearly, he didn't listen to you at all. I don't see anything in this post pointing to you being harsh or ungrateful. You told him it was a lovely gesture, but he knew that you're allergic to a lot of metals. He's the idiot for not listening to what you wanted and doing this grand gesture. Jesus. Not the idiot. What an insane overreaction. How dare you question the content of the metals? You insulted him by asking for inexpensive gifts. Look, I may be biased as hell because I am both an avid cross-stitcher and reader, but the gifts you requested sound lovely and like something that you'd get some use out of. He was insulted at the thought of buying gifts he could afford, but thought taking out a loan to get you something you explicitly stated you did not want was reasonable. Taking a goddamn loan out is insanely irresponsible. Not the idiot. My wife has really low-key gift requirements. To the extent of pork scratchings and breakfast blend tea bags. Whilst I would prefer to get something a bit better, I know that it's what she actually wants, so whatever else I may stumble upon myself, I ensure I actually buy what she wants. There is really no need to second guess when you're given two very clear options. Which your now former partner was. The gift upgrade was more about him than you.